Hey everybody, welcome to this video Astro Alert for Monday, August 26th, 2013, and I want to talk today about squares. We've been talking a lot about the trines in the sky lately this summer. I want to talk about the big squares that are in the sky, something that's been going on since the middle of 2012 and will continue through the middle of 2015. Is a pretty major astrological event that we're living through. It's a square between Pluto and Uranus. These are two very slow-moving forces that reflect our ability to experience change. A square, a 90-degree angle, is defined as conflicts or obstacles that generate change. So from an astrological perspective, if you look out at the world over the last year and a half or so, and the changes that we're in, they're pretty major, world and global. Anything that's happening out there is also happening inside of us on a personal level. Things are changing in a big way. Pluto represents change that happens at the alchemical level. Uranus represents change that happens at the sort of dynamic lightning flash awakening level. And when these two elements of change get together in any fashion, the changes are astronomical. And a 90-degree square is the most abrupt and sort of confronting kind of change that we experience in our consciousness. These two planets got together at the same place in the sky in the 60s. So if you think about that incredible time where seeds of change got planted, with all the different movements that sort of emerged in the 60s, now is the time that those seeds of change are germinating, and hence the enormous amount of change that we're seeing out there in our outer landscape. I, of course, am more interested in helping you navigate the changes as they're happening on the inside of your landscape. But remember, there's no out there, and everything that is happening out there is also happening inside of us on a personal level. So this dynamic setup for great change with these two anchors, these two big, slow-moving, powerful planets, began to get together in this fashion in June of 2012. And because of various retrograde motions, they're going to hit this exactness of the square 7 times between then and middle of 2015. That's a lot of squares. And the most recent one was at the end of May that we've just come out of. So the reason why I'm talking about this now is because there's two very faster moving planets that are activating this powerful square. And this week, they're forming what's called a grand square. That is the cosmos divided into perfectly, 4 big square in the sky, 4 points squaring each other off in a dividing the sky into 4 equal parts. That's a pretty a powerful transit. One of them is Jupiter. So Jupiter, moderately slow-moving planet, and is our consciousness of expansion and abundance. And so with Jupiter coming into this configuration with Pluto and Uranus, this is yummy. We're talking about the good fortune element of our consciousness is playing a part in all of this. And what this sort of sets us up for is that even though squares cause chaotic change and confronting change and growth obstacles, which don't necessarily feel good, Jupiter's entering this picture ensures that what's happening is for our benefit, for our expansion, for our abundance consciousness. And this transit began in earnest at the very beginning of August. So we're still in August, so we're talking about in astrological terms, just a hair's breadth ago, in the beginning of August, Jupiter opposed Pluto. So that's an opposition means something's going to happen. There's a dynamic tension that is created when two energies oppose each other, and Jupiter, being expansion and good fortune, opposing Pluto would be a setup for something to change for your benefit, and in a kind of an assurance of that. And last week, Jupiter moved into where he's squaring Uranus. You understand? So Pluto and Uranus are up there in their little place. Jupiter hit a dynamic tension of opposites with Jupiter 3 weeks ago and just moved a little bit forward and squared off with Uranus. So now we've got 3 planets at 90-degree angles, 180 degrees here and then 90 degrees here. We've got big change in the air. And the thing that makes this week so important is that now Venus has come into the picture in that last quadrant, making for the perfect square in the sky between Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter, and now Venus. Again, squares are uncomfortable. Jupiter's participation in this means it's for your benefit, for your expansion, and for your good fortune. And Venus coming through, completing this picture right now, this week, starting over the weekend that we're just coming out of and finishing up in the next couple of days, ensures that this moment in time, this sort of last week of August, is a moment when the heart is opening. I assure you, that is what is happening right now. Whether this is a feel-good week for you or not, and this is the invitation here. The invitation is to remember the consciousness element of astrology and let go of the event orientation toward astrology. This is what separates the kids from the grown-ups, all right? The kid says, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to win the lottery this week? And the grown-ups say, okay, my heart is opening. And if you're one of those people who are having really sort of yummy experiences out there right now, amen to you, yay. However, if you're one of those people who's being really confronted with opportunities to change how you approach your life from a more open-hearted place, I commend you, I encourage you, and I welcome you to the club of saying, no matter what's going on, this is the best thing that could have possibly happened, even if you don't get to know how that's true until we get a little further down the line. All of us are experiencing this week an opportunity to open our heart at a deeper level. And the reason why I was moved to sit down today is that today is the day that Venus is opposing Uranus. Venus, the heart center, Uranus, the awakener, and opposition means dynamic tension that creates events. And even if that event is not something that you can point to outside in your world, but is an opening of your own heart, yay for all of us. And tomorrow, Venus finishes off this grand square with a grand cross with a square to Jupiter. And you know, no matter how dicey the geometry is, when Venus and Jupiter get together, that's good news. That is expansion, abundance consciousness, interacting with love consciousness in a way that can only result in the heart opening even more and more and more. And given that this period of time from 2012 to 2015 is so dynamic with change, and we don't like change. We don't do well with change, us human beings. This summer is so important because the opportunity to deepen your heart and mind congruency is so outrageous. It becomes all the more important to be showing up to that process, however it's unfolding for you, so that as the world is changing, you can do your part to raise the vibration of your own inner consciousness, to help raise the consciousness of the world. I am a firm believer that we are up to bringing world peace to the planet, but it happens on the insides of our hearts. The war that we are to bring peace to is the one inside of us, and as we do that, we heal the wounds of war on the outside of us. And this week is a beautiful opportunity to do that. So I invite you to take a look at your landscape right now in this week of the Cardinal Grand Cross, and ask yourself, can I see love at work right here, right now? Thank you.